Our notes for today is titled Comparing and Ordering Integers. Before we begin our notes, let's look at some vocabulary words that will help us understand how we're going to be able to compare and order integers. To start our vocabulary list off, we're going to first look at what integers are. Integers are positive and negative whole numbers including 0. So in other words, an integer is not a decimal. The best example to visualize what integers are is by using a number line. Because on this number line, if we number them without using decimals, we notice that 0 is in the middle, and we have negative numbers to the left on the number line, and the numbers are getting smaller the further you go to the left. And then we have the positive numbers on the right of 0, and as you're going to the right on the number line, the numbers are getting larger. Notice that on the ends of the number line there are arrows, which means that the numbers continue going on and on and on into infinity. And so if we were to write our list of integers, we would have to put ... to start it off and ... to end to show that those numbers continue on and on to negative infinity and positive infinity. Our next vocabulary word is absolute value. The definition for the absolute value of an integer is the distance of an integer from 0 on the number line. The absolute value is denoted by absolute value bars and read as the absolute value of whatever you see on the inside of those bars. One special thing to note about absolute value, since you're counting the distance, it will always be positive. So for absolute value of anything, whether it's a negative number or a positive number, you will get a positive answer. So using this in an example, we have a number line and we're finding the absolute value of 7, negative 7. So we start at negative 7 on our number line and we're going to count how many jumps does it take for us to get from negative 7 to 0. As we can see, it takes us 7 jumps. So the absolute value of negative 7 is positive 7. 0 is 0 distance from 0. So the absolute value of 0 is equal to 0. We didn't have to move any to get from 0 to 0. The absolute value of 4 would be the distance from 4 to 0 on our number line. So we'll start at 4 and then we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we see the absolute value of 4 is equals to 4. So as you can notice, as it says in our definition, the answers for each of those absolute values are positive. So pretty much when you take the absolute value of a number, you're just going to get rid of the negative sign if there is one on the inside of the absolute value bar. Our last vocabulary word for this set of notes is opposites, and opposites are integers that have the same absolute value. It's denoted by the negative sign in front of parentheses. So you have the negative sign, parentheses, and you have something in between those parentheses, and you read it as the opposite of whatever you see within those parentheses. A special thing to note about opposites is that the sum of opposites is 0. So in other words, if you were to add two integers that you said are opposites, you should get a 0 as your answer. You will always get 0 when you add your opposites together. So looking at our example, they're saying that the absolute value of negative 5 is the same as the absolute value of positive 5. Because if we were to count the distance of negative 5 from 0, we see that the distance is 5. And if we were to count the distance of positive 5 from 0, we would see the distance is 5. So therefore, by definition, they are opposites. So if we were to use the math way of writing opposites with the negative sign with parentheses, if we're taking the opposite of negative 5, that would be positive 5. The opposite of positive 5 is equals to negative 5. And since they are opposites, that means when I add them together, when I take the sum of the opposites, I'm going to get 0. Now that we have reviewed the vocabulary, we have a good understanding of what each of those words mean, let's look at some examples of how we are going to use our vocabulary to help us order integers from least to greatest, and possibly we're able to use a number line if needed. Before I really begin working out my examples, I'm going to make sure that I note which numbers, which integers are negatives, because when I plot them on my number line, I want to make sure I put them to the left of 0, and then also which numbers are positive, because when I use my number line to plot them, I want to make sure I put them to the right of 0, and then of course which ones are listed as 0, that should go at 0 on my number line. So now that I've done that, since we know that we have both positive and negative numbers, since that's the definition of integers, we can get ready to use our number line to help us put our numbers in order. So we're just going to simply plot each of these numbers on the number line. So negative 35, where should negative 35 go on the number line? On this first number line, you notice they're counting by tens. So negative 35 is going to be directly in the middle of negative 30 and negative 40. And we're going to label negative 35. All right, so then we go to our next one. We can mark it off, or you can underline it and let you know that you've already done that one. Negative 9 is going to go almost to 10. It's going to be in between 0 and negative 10. So here's negative 9. Negative 70 is going to go past negative 60 to the left of negative 60. So we've done these two. Negative 54 will go in between negative 50 and negative 60. Negative 19 will go in between negative 10 and negative 20. Now, once we're done with plotting those and labeling the points, you can notice that if we go from left to right, so if we go from left to right, we have our numbers in order. So we can go and write our list, or you can just circle it from what you already have. So this would be my ordered list from least to greatest. Let's try example 2. So again, we already denoted which ones are negative and positive, and then also 0. So we're making sure we're plotting it on the correct side of 0 on our number line. And so we're going to go down our list. Our first number is negative 8. We find negative 8 and we plot it and label it, mark it off. We move on to negative 5. Sorry, it's positive 5. So you plot positive 5. We label it. Moving on to negative 4. We plot negative 4 on the number line and we label it. We have positive 2, 0, and 6. And so if we look at our numbers from on the number line from left to right, we have our answer of our integers from least to greatest, from smallest to largest. So here's our list, and we can go back and put commas in between them since we have a list of numbers. So basically, in order to list integers from least to greatest, we're going to start by using our number line, and we're going to plot those points. And then once we plot them, we can just read off our numbers from left to right, and that will put them in order from least to greatest. Use examples 1 and 2 to help you complete the You Try problems 1 and 2. Look over the problems that I just completed for you and let me know if you have any questions. Let's look at another set of examples where we would have to state the absolute value of a number. Remember, the absolute value of any number is always positive because you're seeing how far that number is from 0. So you're counting the distance, and whenever we count distance, we use positive numbers. So on example 1, when we're taking the absolute value of positive 5, we know our answer is going to be positive 5. 5 is 5 distances away from 0. And then similar to example 2, when we're taking the absolute value of a negative number, we're taking the absolute value of a negative 7. By definition, we're just counting how far negative 7 is from 0 on the number line, and we can count 7 distances, so it's a positive 7. So no matter whether we took the absolute value of a positive number or the absolute value of a negative number, for both of those answers, we came up with a positive answer. Look over the problems that I just completed for you and let me know if you have any questions. Let's now look at some examples where we would have to state the opposite of integers. Please note that whenever we take the opposite of a negative number, you get a positive number. And whenever we take the opposite of a positive number, we get a negative number. So in other words, we're just changing the sign. So we're changing the sign of whatever number is on the inside of those parentheses. So for example 1, since we're taking the opposite of a positive number, a positive 6, the opposite of positive 6 is negative 6. In example 2, we're taking the opposite of a negative number. The opposite of negative 15 would be positive 15. So in both answers, we see that the sign of the number has changed. For example 1, it started off as positive. When we did the opposite of it, we got a negative. For example 2, it started out being a negative, but when we did the opposite of a negative, we get a positive. Look over the problems that I just completed for you and let me know if you have any questions. Let's look now at our next set of examples where we're going to complete the statement using the less than symbol or the greater than symbol in order to compare the two integers that they give us. So to help us be able to do this, we can visualize our number line. And on that number line, we're going to plot the first point, and then we can plot the second point. And we're going to compare. If the number that's on the left is to the left of the number on the right, we'll say that it is less than. If the number on the left is further to the right than the number on the right, then we'll say that it's greater than. So let's actually see how this works. So for example 1, you see I've plotted negative 8 on the number line, and I've plotted negative 3 on the number line. If you notice, they're both to the left of 0, so we're comparing two negative numbers, and we're trying to figure out which one is smaller. Well, negative 8 is further to the left, so that means negative 8 is less than negative 3. So we're going to use the less than symbol for number 1. If we look at example 2, we're also comparing two negative numbers, negative 9 and negative 12. When I plot those two numbers on the number line, I notice negative 12 is further to the left than negative 9. So that means negative 12 is less than negative 9. So negative 9 is greater than negative 12. So for example number 2, we're going to use the greater than symbol. So basically what I just did, in order to compare integers, I'm using the number line. I'm visualizing where that number falls in comparison to the other number. If one number is further to the left, that means that number is smaller. If another number is further to the right, that means the number is greater. And so we use the symbols that say that. So less than, we use the less than symbol. If it's greater than, we use the greater than symbol. Use examples 1 and 2 to help you complete the you-try problems 1, 2, 3, and 4. Look over the problems that I just completed for you and let me know if you have any questions. Let's look at our last set of examples where we're asked to evaluate the expressions when y equals negative 5. So remember from our first set of notes, when we were told to evaluate, that meant that we were finding the value of the expression, and all we had to do was replace our variable that was given with the number. And so we're plugging in, but we're going to first rewrite each of these expressions by putting parentheses around the variable so that we'll get ready for plugging in our value, which is -5. For example 1, we're finding the opposite of y. So when we replace y with -5, we have the opposite of -5. Well, the opposite of -5 is +5, so +5 is our answer for expression number 1. For expression number 2, we're taking 17 minus the absolute value of y. So when we plug in -5 in the place of y, we have 17 minus the absolute value of -5. Remember, the absolute value of any number is going to always be positive. So now we have 17 minus 5, which is 12. So the answer to example 2 is 12. Moving on to example 3, they're asking us to take 5 times the absolute value of y. So when we replace y with -5, we have 5 times the absolute value of -5. Remember, the absolute value of any number is always positive. So we get 5 times +5, which equals 25. So the answer to example 3 is 25. Use examples 1, 2, and 3 to help you complete the U-Try problems 1, 2, 3, and 4. To show that you have mastered today's lesson, complete quick check problems for 1.1, problems 1 through 5 before you leave class today.